to the Town of Minto Council. And it's great to see a great turnout tonight. We really appreciate everybody coming out on a school night. So we'll get you out of here as quick as we can because I know you all want to get home and do homework, right? All done. I'm with you. I'm with you. So any exposure any peculiar interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Anybody got any conflicts? Okay. Moved by Councillor Caldwell, second by Councillor Dirksen. The minutes of the October 2nd, 2018 council meeting be approved. All in favor? Okay. Okay. We have no additional items. Anybody got additional items? Oh. On. Hello. On. And I might. So thank you for that. Okay.
Next council meeting.
Bigger. Small speeches. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, yeah. Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Turton. The Town of Minto Council convenes in the committee of the whole. All in favor? Okay, no public meetings. Delegations. Here we are. We're at the delegations, and we're really excited. And I think, Ron, if you could come down with me to the floor here, and we can get this going. Thanks.
Hot mic.
Hello, everyone. Glad
like
to see you guys. Tonight, we're proud to recognize tonight the Marlins, the Palmerston Marlins Quartz U12 girls team, and they were provincial C champions, which was something. They went undefeated, posting a record of 7-0 at the tournament held in Windsor, beat Barrie by a score of 7-6 in the gold medal game. And this is your first year at giving this a shot, and it's just amazing that your team could win this at that level. I know at the start of the year you struggled a bit, and you kind of pulled it together at the right time. And I don't know whether that's thanks to coaching. You must be pretty good players. Anyhow, George,
I just want to thank you for coming tonight, and the parents for bringing you. It's great to see you, and I know as a parent, as a grandparent now, without your parents and grandparents, a lot of sports wouldn't happen. So it's appreciative that you're doing that for the kids. And if you want to come up now, we're going to present you a certificate and take a picture. As I mentioned before, you're on TV and everything. And who's got the speech from the group? No, we won't worry about that. The coach will have to talk. The coaches come up and we'll maybe get a picture here and give you your certificate. And thanks, Joel. And who else is coming? Wayne?
Maybe Joel wants to introduce the players? Or?
Yes, Joel's going to introduce the players. You can bring them up then, and we'll get them all standing here, Joel. Okay. I talked to most of you, but I can't remember all your names.
It's a quiz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'd like to start by thanking council for inviting us here tonight. It's a great group of girls. I would tell you that I had actually coached none of them going into the season, so I learned them as the season went on. How many games did we win our first weekend? None. Yeah, that's right. We played 5 games early in May and won none. But the last weekend of the year, we won 7 and lost none. So it was quite So yes, definitely a tribute to the players and how hard they worked and how hard they practiced. I would tell you we have more here tonight than we generally got to practice, which is, I guess this is more important than that. But seeing how as we had 10 players, playing time wasn't an issue.
Wow.
So, we actually, what did we play? We played 42 games this summer. Wow. And 36 of them we played with 9 players.
Wow.
So it was definitely playing time was not an issue.
No.
Therefore, nobody got mad at me, right?
That's right.
How did you decide who's playing?
Well, it was hard. Sometimes I wanted to put Morgan on the end of the bench and leave her there, but it didn't work out that way. Anyways, as I say, we have 9 players here tonight. Mallory Myers couldn't make it, but the other 9 are here. First, we have Morgan Hutchison from Arthur. Morgan was a third baseman and a pitcher for us. Beside her is Emma Martin. She is one of our 2 from Palmerston. Emma sat on the bench and did a bit of bat catching for us. Beside her is Nicole Alexander. Nicole is from Ethel. Pretty good. Nicole was a pitcher and a shortstop with us. Beside her is Ava Strome from Brussels. Ava played some third base. She played some outfield, and when I asked her to, she pitched as well as she could. Beside her would be Hazel Kirk. Hazel, she was a catcher for us, played a bit of first base. She batted leadoff. Did you get out in Windsor? I'm not sure that you actually got out. She had a heck of a summer at the plate. Once, maybe? Okay. Beside her is Maddie Cherry. Maddie is our second player from Palmerston. Maddie played some second base and some outfield for us. Beside her is Kira Skin. Kira's from Wingham. And Kira was a second baseman and an outfielder as well. Beside her is Ava McDougall from Arthur. Ava was the one who won MVP down in Windsor for us.
Way to go.
She carried the load on pitching mound and batted in the middle of the lineup and was deservedly so the MVP down there. Beside her is Caitlin Hillis, and Caitlin is from Mount Forest. Caitlin played first base for the bulk of the year. And again, Caitlin batted in the middle of the lineup and was a player for us. The coaching staff, unfortunately, it was me and dead weight. But we got through the year, and even though we don't always see eye to eye, it worked out all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Father and son.
So that would be the extent of it.
Fantastic. You want to come right here so we can get a good look at you with the camera and whatnot. And
Thanks.
just stick. So, I'll just get up here. Ron, do you want to? He has to look at it. Yeah, you want to sit down? Let photographers figure it out. We have to get the certificate in there somewhere. You guys want to hold it up there? There you go.
I'll start real fast here. Okay.
Thank you. Tell me, go ahead. Yep. So you can figure out where you, Joel, you just want to hang up here for a second? I gotta make sure I have to say this right. Well, we just got this hot off the press, and I don't know if you girls know, but your coach was is the winner of the Ontario Amateur Softball Association 218th Gil Reed Coaches Honor Roll as Coach of the Year. Wow. So even though he only had 9 to 10 people to coach, he must have did a good job, put you all into the right spots. I don't understand the strategy, but congratulations, Joel.
It's honestly, it's new to me. There was an unknown number called my phone last night at 9:30, and I didn't answer it. The voicemail said that I was fortunate enough to win. So I'm still trying to figure out who nominated me, because it is a nomination process. So to whoever that is, if you're in this room, thank you very much, and I will find out. And I will thank you personally. It's a tremendous honor. It's Gil Reed was coach with OASA. The only reason I know a bit about it is my brother was fortunate enough to win this award as well back in 2015. He always says the harder you work, the luckier you get. the girls fully understand that you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky, and the harder you work, definitely the luckier you get. And I was pretty lucky in this situation. The truth is, my brother and I both won. I personally believe it's not because of our coaching skills. It's the dead weight that I carry beside me. Taught us both how to coach.
I'm thinking maybe Sharon had a lot to training you.
Yes, my mother was pretty instrumental in it too. But you know what? It's, as I say, it's new to me. Just learned about it. I'm supposed to call the gentleman back and get some details. So I don't even have the full details yet.
We're ahead of you.
Yeah. So thank you very much, and it's a very good opportunity.
Congratulations.
It's always nice to see that, because coaches don't get enough honors, if you want my honest opinion. Here we go. Let's get up there. One more. Wow. All right, where's my next one here?
Thank you.
Okay.
Right here.
Right here. Now we have another delegation tonight, and this is fitting because we have a great organization in town called Blessings to You. And if anybody shopped at Blessings for You, it's just on the corner in Palmerston on Main and Jane. Yeah.
The old flower shop.
And the old flower shop, and they've done an amazing job since moving there. And so much that you've done for the community, and they do a lot for youth. They've given money to the youth basketball program. They gave money to the after-school program, which is being used really well. Up to 15 kids in the after-school program now. It's really doing well. Amazing. And you do a lot of free ice time for our kids, swimming. And it's all money that you raise by giving a service to the community that you can't beat, because having the ability to go in and get reasonable price clothes and everything else, and all the parents that are here will understand that when you have these little ones, they grow so fast. Now, I noticed everybody has knees out of their pants and everything. We may be able to get you some new ones. Or is that supposed to be that way, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right, because we could get you new ones at Blessings for You probably with don't have holes. But so they've been recipient of an award from the Children's Foundation of Guelph Wellington, and I would like a couple of representatives from Blessing for You to come up and accept your certificate. It's a great pleasure that I'm writing to inform you that you've been selected to receive the Children's Foundation of Guelph Wellington Sander Weaver Community Champion Award. By our staff and board of directors, the award will be presented at the Around the World Gala to be held October 13th. I guess you've already had that, and you enjoyed that. It was at the Delta in Guelph. Excellent. And we just wanted to give you a little token of our appreciation of being a great community partner for us. So if you would like to say a word.
Thank you for being recognized. We just enjoy
Introduce yourself. Sorry.
Okay, my name is Betty Hoving. I'm one of the co-chairs. Linda Wright. I'm on the board. But we just, we love what we do, and we also rely on the community for donations, and we try to make our materials, things that come in at a good price for everyone, and we like to spread our wealth in our community and support, we really like to support organizations that benefit children. That's our main goal. And so, and any opportunity that we can do that, we do that.
That's right. That's right. Association.
You guys, if you want,
I'm still waiting here for the meeting.
I think he's back. And I'll try to get to see you next year.
Promises, promises.
That's a lot of games.
Promises, promises.
Sure knows how to clean a room, doesn't he?
Okay, what do we got up next, Bill? Question period. Oh, everybody. Okay. Correspondence received for information. Anybody want to pull anything?
Yes, the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority correspondence. I believe that's the one in respect to joint cost, the cost of what it would take, like $20 million, and I just want to comment. I think I can't emphasize how important it is that to bring Mr. Nader and Mr. Pettypiece on side to share that information and cost, because I recall back, I forget what year it was, in Paisley. I remember John Bryce was on council at that time, and he was instrumental in getting the provincial government and the federal government to put a substantial amount of money into the berms and rerouting of some of the water and whatnot. And that was a huge dollar project. And he was able to persuade the province and the federal government to be involved. And I would strongly encourage, I guess, the next council now, because or correspondence with Mr. Nader and Mr. Pettypiece, that we should pursue that. Thank you.
David?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Bridge. Just a little side note here. We are meeting with Mr. Pettypiece on Friday to discuss this with him. We have already met with Mr. Nader, and I think we're getting some traction. So there's been a lot of discussions with Conservation Ontario. They're on board as well, and they're pushing hard. So.
Councillor Turton, I guess this is to you through the mayor. Would it help for us to write a letter to each one of those ministers, or it would be better to write to our local MP and MPP? Would that help, or they know that we're on board for this?
No, I think any letter would help. I mean, you're not just representing our own town; you're representing all the conservation authorities, because this pertains to all of them. We have met with John Nader. We're going to meet with Mr. Pettypiece Friday, and there's one more that we're pushing to meet with. So I mean, every letter helps.
Yeah, I'm wondering then if we wouldn't probably need a motion, but the direction that the mayor maybe send something on behalf of council, send support. Can you do that?
Yep, we can.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Are we all right with that? Okay. Great. Anything? Yeah, we did. Ron and David, and all in favor. Put up your hands.
Sure.
I got nods.
I gotta make sure he does.
As long with nods. All right. Okay. Anything else out of the correspondence? Ready?
I just wanted to make a comment about the Wellington County Natural Heritage Report. I found it kind of interesting that several weeks ago we had some kind of a report. I can't remember what it was. Was it a growth plan or something that talked about changing the farmland in northern Minto from Class 2 to prime agriculture? Was that the growth plan, or was it? I can't remember what it
Mayor Bridge,
was
through you,
exactly.
that was The province also updated their agricultural mapping.
Okay, so that's what that was.
Yeah, you had commented back on that.
Okay, so what I found really interesting was the large, on page, I don't know what it is exactly here, but it noted that there's large deposits of gravel in the area kind of northish of 12th line, which is where in the past we've called that Class 2 farmland. And so I see those things as kind of contradicting each other, that on the one hand, some report is saying it's prime agricultural land, but on the other report, it's saying there's a lot of gravel up there.
Yeah, but just to speak on that, when I was in planning and Warden, there's an agri map as well with all your aggregates, and it doesn't preclude. In fact, a lot of gravel, Class 2 farmland would be on with gravel underneath it, like, because it's not too bad. Like, if the gravel's there, but there's still enough topsoil to actually farm it, right? So there's two maps, and then unfortunately, under current, if they decide to put a gravel pit in there, it won't matter if it's 2 or 1. Gravel overrides good farmland. Unfortunately, I don't agree with that, Judy, but
I do know that, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why it's not. I don't think it's meant to be a conflict, whatever. But it's just part of the.
Well, I think that I made the comment back when that it's a lot stonier ground
there
than it is in South Minto, just to kind of draw the line. And then I was also interested in the amount of tree cover. We actually aren't doing all that badly, which I was always kind of under the assumption that we were way behind everybody else, but really we're not on a percentage of land basis, so that was good to see. And then I also noted that Glen Lee is in the wrong spot. It should be a block north of where it is, but probably I'm the only one that cares about it. I don't know. Wasn't me.
And I think at one of the candidates meetings I got asked about, and I didn't have a chance to because it only came out, but this is just a guideline. There's no thing in here. If somebody says to you, "Oh, now you have to put a corridor between that woodlot and that woodlot over your," I think the question was asked. Definitely, we have no ability to make you do that. That's just if it happens. If you decide you want to do it, there's the mapping. There's what you'd like to see down the road if you did that. So there's no threat for somebody coming in from the government and saying you got to change how you're farming your farm and everything else.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Once a report is out there, though, it's amazing how many people read it sometimes. I did have that comment about those connecting links kind of.
Yeah, but I asked
farmland,
today.
But I see that's one of the questions that was asked, obviously.
I asked the senior planner today at county about that, and he said, no, there's no teeth. But I haven't read right to where it says that there's no teeth in it, but I think it's recommendations, not law.
Somebody's idea, yep.
Anything else?
Nope. Thank you.
Good comments. Okay. Correspondence moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, second by Mary Lou. All in favor? Reports of committees. Staff reports. Business Economic Development.
Mayor Bridge, unfortunately, you have me for that.
I know.
So the Business and Economic Development Manager prepared a policy. We do have the new sign placed in Palmerston. Right now it's carrying a standard message. She informed me today that they are working on the software connection so that they are able to change the message from here, and that before the end of this month it will be fully functional. Another change that before the policy, it mentioned that the sponsor organizations would have up to 3 free messages per week, I believe. And given some feedback from these organizations, in particular I think the Legion, that they may have multiple events going on, that they would like that to be 4. So the staff have no problem with that change.
It's just it's a loop.
So I think it's a very well written policy and covers what it needs to cover as far as how community groups and others get access to the sign.
The comments on it?
Good.
Sure. Deputy Mayor Faulkner, also Church, all in favor? bylaw. Parking report. There he is. Welcome, Cam.
Thanks for having me. I don't sound right. That's next month.
Okay.
I don't sound right because I'm suffering from a dreadful man cold. So.
Oh, man cold. Well, they're the worst.
They are.
Yeah.
Spreading the germ. Anyways, because parking, we have some apartments in Clifford that they don't offer enough parking spaces for the tenants. So we're approached by one individual that has 3 cars, 1 parking space. And they were wondering if we could do the same as what we do in Palmerston with rented parking spaces. So we have the room at the old Mansion Hotel lot. I think if we put up 5 parking spaces to start, see how it goes. There are some other tenants that don't have enough space either, and as of November 1st, they can't park on the street. So that would help offset the cost of maintaining the parking lot. And if it's not going to cost us anything to put signs up because we already have signs, left over from the Foodland parking lot that we can use for now, and if there's a greater need, then we can purchase more, I guess. So I'm proposing that we put 5 spots in at the Mansion parking lot.
Just a question, Cam, it would be the same bylaw number?
Yeah, 5,000
for the all 3 urban.
Yeah, it's all under the same parking parking bylaw.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. So where did these folks park last year? Year before?
The one individual with the 3 cars was actually in Palmerston with rented space.
Obviously, they are the ones that came to you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We utilize that parking space for that.
Yeah, if we can use it, if we sell the 5 spaces, that's $1,000 towards maintaining the parking lot.
Right.
So if there's a need is there, maybe we can put more spaces up as well.
Same price as Palmerston?
Yep, same deal. They have to clean out between their own cars. So we just clean the parking lot and they look after between themselves. So.
Is there gravel in there now?
I believe it is.
It's gravel. Yeah, it hasn't been paved yet.
But it is slated to be paved the next year or 2.
Well, it's supposed to be paved hopefully next year. That was the plan. They wanted to wait for a year.
So I don't think this is a terrible idea, but I guess my thinking is we haven't really had a chance to see how much that lot is going to be utilized for business purposes in Clifford when the street is open, because it's not been open all summer, so it's kind of a different kind of a situation. So I guess that would be my concern, that are we taking too much away from the purpose that it was intended in the first place?
Can I ask you, Bill, I think when you did the site, like if we had it lined, and again, I've been up there, parked quite a bit in there because of the construction.
Right.
And it seems like it would hold a lot of cars, but do we have an actual number of cars that would actually hold if we had it lined?
I can't remember.
20, wasn't it?
I think it's in that range,
Yeah.
Mayor Bridge, and I guess the other thing is it's fairly urgent for these people because of the winter coming. So I would think we'll keep an eye on it. We only have 3 committed right now.
Well, possibly, but I was told there are some others as
may
well.
come.
So that's why I proposed 5. 5 that's maybe what, a quarter, not even a quarter of that lot.
Are they? Do we have a time frame on it? Like, do they do them by the year or
It's annual?
Annual?
Yep.
Right, because I was going to say get through the winter, then you'd know. But
I mean, it is a little bit different than Palmerston. I mean, there are quite a few businesses there, but it's not as sort of intense commercial there right yet, and there is street parking too. So I think we should monitor it and see how it goes for the winter. And I think think it's a great idea for Cam to bring it forward and generate some revenue.
Okay. Any other concerns?
Just a question. That's for 1 year, 1 calendar year.
Yeah, they go out the 1st of April.
I want to say January.
Oh, they go February. I think mailing is February. I think it's 1st of April that they don't fill out at.
So April to April.
Yep.
That sounds fair.
All right, we'll monitor. Go to 5, and then is everybody all right? Okay, can somebody move that? Okay, Councilor Turton, second by Councilor Anderson. All in favor? Right. Okay. Thanks for coming out with your coal. Go home now. Don't spread it around. Building assistant. Thank you. Michelle, would you like to come up?
Thank you, my bridge. I am not suffering from a man cold.
Good.
That's a good thing.
Touch the podium.
Yeah.
I
You might want to change mics.
alcohol gel over here. We'll use it after. So council may recall that at our last meeting on September 18th, we were in support of 2 consent applications for the subject property located on Low Street. At that meeting, the county staff had suggested a deferral in order to provide time to revise the site plan layout that was before us. We were under a different time constraint and approved that we would recommend the deferral, but all of our standing conditions would remain. Since that time, I'm happy to say that it was a successful meeting, and we now have 2 revised applications in front of us where we are creating 2 285.1 square meter residential lots to allow for a semi-detached dwelling and not the original triplex that was originally suggested. This will also now create 1,011 square meters of a retained lot with an existing dwelling and garage that will remain as such for the immediate future, but this property will most likely be developed. The revised severance proposal no longer requires a zoning bylaw amendment, as the severed and retained lot will now meet the minimum lot area and frontage requirements. Town staff and the engineer did meet and to re-review the revised, and the recommendations are now similar with the exception of the condition regarding zoning, and the grading and drainage have been removed as they are no longer required for this particular severance application, but they will need to be addressed before building permit will be issued. So they have been removed from the application recommendations, and all other standard conditions remain the same.
Questions? That's okay. Somebody move? Sure. Deputy Mayor Faulkner? Councilor Elliott, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I say it?
Yep.
Shall I say it?
Next one.
One more. So the next application is a proposed consent for a corner lot municipally known as 730 King by the same applicant. The subject property is zone R2, which is a medium density residential, permitting single detached and townhouse dwellings. The intent of this application is to sever 655.4 square meters lot to be developed for residential use, leaving a 644.1 parcel with an existing single detached dwelling which will be retained. On the vacant parcel, the only thing that will be remaining will be the 2 sheds, which will need to be removed, and there is a deck that is attached to the existing house on the retained lot that will also need to be removed. The proposed lots as they are presented meet the minimum lot area and frontage requirements, but there will be relief required for the rear yard setback on the retained portion of the house. County comments indicate that they are also in support of this application as they are consistent with provincial policy and would generally conform to the official plan. Town staff met with Triton Engineering and reviewed the application, and there is currently no water or sanitary services available on the Yonge Street, which would service the severed lot. The applicant is aware of the situation, and a servicing agreement will need to be signed at a later date once a final design for grading and drainage plan is provided by an engineer to ensure that services are installed according to the town standards prior to the issuance of any. All of these issues reviewed can be addressed through our standard conditions for consent to cover off our financial servicing actions and parkland application.
Questions? Somebody move. Curtin. Officer Dick Bergson. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Well done. And here he is.
All right, good evening. Now that Cam and Michelle have actually done all the work, I get to do kind of the feel-good report.
Right.
So this is my September monthly stats. Construction, again, remained strong throughout all of September. However, it was lower than the stats in September of last year. We still did $2.8 million in construction value, over 16 permits versus 27 permits and 3.8 of last year. So all in all, we're still doing fairly strong. By the end of September, total year round, we've got 174 permits out the door worth $28.3 million, which is substantially higher than 25.5 from last year. So we are on track for another excellent year. Highlights include, for September, include 10 new residential dwelling units. Issued a permit for a 5-plex in Palmerston, 4-plex in Hairston, and a single-family dwelling in Palmerston, as well as 2 rural new industrial buildings and an industrial addition onto an existing building. So to date, we've issued permits for 42 residential units, which is pretty good. Last year, off the top of my head, I want to say we issued around the 59 mark, so I think we're going to hit right on that. The pictures that we had there, just for interest's sake alone, there is a 2-story ICF house going up in the township here. It's ICF is insulated concrete forms, so it's styrofoam on the outside and they fill it up with concrete on the inside. And the other picture, that's that lovely hog barn you've been following along with me for quite a while. This one was kind of unique. This picture, it was on a windy day, and you can actually see the forms twisting, which is a little bit leery. No, well, it actually is crooked. The braces were starting to pop, so anyways, they sorted that out before it fell over, so that was awesome, as far as I know. So to date, again, we've done 174 permits with our 10-year average of 155.4. So again, not quite as high as last year, but we're still close to the top. Picture on the right there, that's a new semi-detached dwelling going up in an infill lot in Palmerston. So just an interesting picture I had. So our 10-year average to the end of September is 15.4 roughly million. So we're slightly higher with the 28.3. So we're kind of hitting the top above our record year last year, which is awesome. Picture on the right there, some of you know we redid my old office, as I always call it, with Stacy's return. So we've got Stacy, Cam, and Michelle all in the office, and there's a picture of Cam vacuuming the floors once we had all the old furniture out. So
Lori, see that?
I have not emailed her a picture of it, but I plan on doing that. So I ran some stats just because that's the type of person I am. And kind of pleased to note that you'll see this next month. We've cracked the 30 million in construction value mark, which we have never done before. Last year, you might recall, we topped out at 28.5 roughly. So we are sitting definitely well above that. Over the past 4 years, we've also cracked the 100 million in construction value. So things are looking good. I just crunched some numbers and I thought it was kind of cool figures to bring up, but more of that to come next month.
Good.
Question?
I think it was 46 residential buildings.
Yep.
Now is that included like a 4-plex or duplex? So
that's
units.
Family? So a 4-plex would be 4 units. Okay. Single family dwellings we're sitting at, I believe it's 29. Is what, 29 new single-family houses, okay. And then the rest are multi-res.
Thanks, Mayor Bridge. So When we talk about the infill lots, we're starting to fill them up.
We are.
So do you have a number of infill lots that are left in Minto? Or is that an unfair question?
No, yes and no. I did run the numbers for Triton, trying to figure out our sewage capacities in each one. I can't recall what it is off the top of our heads, or my head, but it's very limited. Palmerston, we're probably, like, vacant infill lots, we're probably sitting at 4 to 5. That picture of the semi was an old single-family dwelling that was knocked down. So created 2 units from the one, but our vacant residential lots were low for infill.
Hairston, do you remember what?
Hairston is sitting a little bit better, but we're talking 8 to 10, maybe 12. So, and Clifford is probably the 8 to 12 mark as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary Bridge. So when you're talking infill lots, you're talking actually a lot that's already there, though. You're not talking a lot that could be severed, like
Correct.
we've seen a couple.
Yep. That one
because
was.
that's certainly happening more and more.
It is as well.
And the provincial policy supports that, right? So.
Totally does. Yep.
So I think we'll see more and more of that.
There's limited lots that have space for that too, are there not?
There are. It's
There's
all those
very
weird
few
ones
left.
that we're seeing here where the existing house is squished over into the corner of a corner lot, which allows for that other lot 7. So it's
Very good. Thanks, Jerry.
thank you.
Motion to accept the report. Councillor Turton, Councillor Elliott, all in favor? Connection policy.
And Mayor Bridge, I have the pleasure of bringing all the exciting news to you tonight. I think this is the end of it. The policies that we needed to go through as a council to make sure we're prepared for development in the next 5 to 10 years, I think are now complete with this policy being developed in the Public Works Department. And it covers how people or developers or both get access to municipal sewer, water, and storm sewer and roadways. So I can go through the policy if you wish in detail, but basically there's 6 sections of it. It talks about how to connect to the services, making sure that things follow our engineering standards. It does identify a second frontage fee, and you were talking about at council infill lots here just a minute ago. And the frontage fee is what we charge where those lots are created on existing water and sewer. We have those developers paid back to the water and sewer systems $221 per meter when they create new lots. It's like a subdivider who does a new subdivision. They pay for all the water and sewer to go in. A subdivider who creates an infill lot pays a frontage fee, and that goes to the water and sewer systems in those cases. You'll note that there's a different frontage fee proposed for Clifford Elora Street. That's because we know the costs of those services going in. The town is putting them in advance of development occurring. Remember, we had the North Clifford secondary plan and all those large parcels that have potential to connect into them. And the $340 per meter charge is a little bit higher there because we need those developers to help pay back the system for the town, what I would call front-ending those services going in. So that's why there's a different frontage fee for Clifford Elora Street versus all other infill lots in the town of Minto. So this helps pay back some of the investment made in those services. It is about 500 meters or half a kilometer of water and sewer work overall that had to go in there. I think it will prepare Clifford for even more growth. We've been totally surprised at how much has happened there so far, so we'll see what happens in the next 5 years now that this is free service. But this policy will allow the town to recover some of those costs as development proceeds.
Questions for Bill?
Thank you. I was just wondering, was there a problem that sort of made us look at this policy to revise it, or was it just time that it was done?
If I may, through you, Mayor Bridge, it's a combination of things. I wanted to make sure it was clear how we would address these. You may remember we had a couple of service connections come to you in different ways. And so this is standardizing what had been happening sort of in a piecemeal basis. Some people were hiring their own contractors and we were approving them. Sometimes the town staff were being paid by developers to go in and do it. So this makes it more standard and makes them come forward with their designs and indicate how they tend to connect to the services, and allows us to get deposits and all that up front. So I think it just makes it more clear to developers and our staff, and that will be better for the town moving forward. So it's not that there was anything really wrong going on, but with all the development pressure we had, we were getting developers wanting to dig in the services right away and to meet their commitments. And so I think this will kind of make this more process oriented and get everybody on the same page and increase the communication between building and public works, because processing 100 million permits, we have to make sure that connections are done right and water meters go in and all that stuff.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Somebody move? Dr. Anderson? Ms. Caldwell, all in favor? I'll just turn it over to Councilor Caldwell for the treasurers.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. The Finance Department has 3 items on the agenda tonight. And I'll turn it over to Treasurer Duff with our first one, the 2017 Development Charges Reserve Fund Review.
Great. Well, thanks, Chair Caldwell. But since you have a fairly light agenda, I thought I'd put a couple of exciting housekeeping reports on there. So I guess time does fly. We are about 3/4 ways through our development charges process, which is reviewed every 5 years. So probably by the middle of next year, we've got to get on that, because it generally takes about 6 months of study and that to do. So anyway, so we're still following those amounts that were figured out in the last study, indexed every year. So we collected about $284,000 last year, and we had about $5,500 in interest. And we just had one reduction, I guess, in our reserves, and that was for outdoor recreation, which unfortunately we don't collect anymore under the latest review. So we spend about $10,000 on the Clifford Ballpark and about $18,000 on the Hairston Ballpark, and those are acceptable uses for that. So at the end of 17, we have about let's see, there about 143,000, and the bulk of it, of course, is in roads, water, and wastewater, and we'll be using that for, hopefully there's lots of projects that we have available to use for. So anyway, that's just a statutory report.
Okay. Are there any questions? No, then the recommendation is the Council of the Town of Minto receives the Treasurer's report dated October 9, 2018, and accepts the Treasurer's declaration that the town is in compliance with Section 59.11 of the Development Charges Act 1997, and that the report and related attachments be posted on the town's website. Could I have someone move that, please? Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Dirksen. All in favor? And the motion is passed.
Oh.
And the second item is on our Parkland Reserve Fund.
A very similar report, only smaller amounts again. Actually, $18,000 for us isn't too bad in collections. As you can see, we've just been talking about in some of the early reports, you may get like $500 a lot or something. If you have a large subdivision that they don't actually make a park, then this comes up. So again, we collected 18,000, went from 11, so we have approximately $29,000 in that reserve at the end of the year. So I'll move that for information.
I'll move. I just had a comment.
Yes.
One last parting shot, I guess. This is one of those lovely little reports that add up over time, but it's a provincially mandated report.
That's right.
Because I guess a few years back, they thought municipalities weren't using their parkland funds for the right reasons. So
yeah,
the treasurer would go to treasurer jail if he didn't post it.
Yeah. And I think this is only the second time. This is a relatively new one. So yeah. they brought in.
I'll move.
Yes, moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, seconded by Mayor Bridge. All in favor? And the motion is passed. And our
Okay.
final item, unfortunately, isn't as pretty as it was.
No,
know.
we had a good one last time.
Our
That
approval
was
of
good.
accounts.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a scary one.
It is, yeah. So in admin, again, latter part of the year, we have a lot of debt servicing repayments. So it's about 161,000 in admin. That's half of that. In recreation, Al's been busy carrying out the project. So the biggest one is an $84,000 Olympia purchase for the Palmerston Arena. And with all these hockey things starting up, I'm sure it'll be in good use. And we also did some painting at the arenas for $4,800 and some electrical work at the Clifford Arena for $4,800. We have the community sign that we were just talking about our policies. That was $16,400. We're getting some corporate sponsorship for the use of that, as you know. And of course, the big one, $832,000 for the Clifford Connecting Link. And that's ongoing, although we hope to see the end soon. So, go to the
Can I just
highlights.
ask what's in economic development, the 33.5?
Well, that's where the 16.4 was for
The
the
sign?
the sign. So
Okay.
that's what happened. Yeah.
Is there any other questions or comments? Then,
I'll move.
okay. All in favor?
All right.
That we received the report.
Great.
And
Thank
it is
you.
passed. Thank you. And I turn the
can't
chair
do it.
back to Mayor Bridge.
I don't know. Just stuck on this. That's all right. No additional items anyways is next. So we'll start off, I think we start right at Councilor Anderson. You had additional item?
And I just wanted to wish everybody well and good luck
Oh.
for the upcoming election, and we'll see what comes to be.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
I wanted to make sure everybody's aware of the Healthcare Heroes Radiothon. It goes this Saturday, October 20th. So if you haven't already made a donation to the PDH Foundation, I invite you to call in. The goal is $100,000 this year, and we're collecting fund for a digital x-ray machine. As you know, we're very fortunate to have a hospital right here in our town and in Minto, and I encourage you to support it. The government doesn't come forward with money for equipment that is raised locally, and so we all need to do our part.
Very good. Thanks, Jim.
I just want to ask Judy if is there several numbers that you can call? Is there several phone numbers?
I don't know the answer to that. I mailed mine a week ago.
Yeah, it's in.
No, you call in. There's a
call in.
1-800 number.
1-800-668-2569.
Google it, Ron.
Google it. Yeah.
1-800-668-2569.
Well, that's their regular line.
Yes,
So
I would think it'd be the same.
I'm pretty sure it's a,
They have about 5 lines on it.
yeah.
well, I can check on that for you and get back to you.
When you phone in and win contests.
Well, we can find out for you, Ron.
That's my, I didn't know everybody knew there was an election going on, so I thought I'd bring that forward. And I'd like to say everybody out in computer land, I would say TV land, but I guess it's computer land, to get out and deliver their votes here if they could and vote.
Absolutely.
I'll go down to Mary Lou, Joe.
That was basically,
Oh, we're all going to do the
covered my
same one.
two.
Okay.
I really am encouraging people to vote, and what is going to happen in Minto in the next 4 years depends on this council very highly. And I hope that everyone considers who they're electing and gives the time and the effort to vote. And Bill, I just wondered, with the impending postal strike, which they're saying is Monday, but when is the latest that people should be mailing their ballots to?
Already passed.
It was the 11th of October.
Okay.
So they're bringing them in now, and we're at 30-some
39, over 39%
return. So if there were anything compared to last election, we're about 11, 12.
We were at 50, almost 56%.
Yeah, so about 15, 16% left to come. And the bulk of them are coming in by hand now, and some will still come in the mail, but they cannot mail them anymore.
Okay.
So
Once again, I just really encourage everyone to vote.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Bridge. So downtown Hairston today, we put the cool cones away for another year. A little bit of poetry there, Gord. So we did notice there was at least 3 cones that were damaged. Not sure exactly. They looked like fisticuffs. Darn seniors out. Sorry, seniors. So I just wanted to thank the folks that were involved in that. It was a really great initiative. There was many people stopped to look, and I mean, it stopped people in their tracks, a lot of that stuff. And again, just thank you to everybody who was involved.
Okay. First of all, I found out tonight that Councillor Turton won't be here next meeting, and I think next meeting we're probably going to be given our farewell speeches, Mary Lou and I, and so I just want to first of all say, Councillor Turton, or new Deputy Mayor Turton, it's been a pleasure serving on previous 2 councils with you, and wish you good luck in your next term, and to all the people running in the election. I hope the public out there realizes what a commitment it is, and the effort that goes into by each and every one of you. And I congratulate you, and it's been a pleasure. But I'll cover that next meeting. I have on behalf of the Hairston Fire Department, sorry, it's Hairston branch of the Minto Fire Department, is the Santa Claus Parade for Hairston is the 17th of November, and it's going to start at 7 p.m. sharp. So everybody's going to meet, if you want to get in the parade, at John and William Street. That's Spear Seeds, and at 6 p.m. So please consider taking part and make it a great parade. It's always fun to have a night parade. And immediately following the parade, the Santa is going to be at the fire hall, where you can take the children to meet Santa. And of course, they're looking for donations to the food bank for that evening. So please be generous and donate to the food bank. And if you're interested in being in the parade, come out and join. And perhaps it'd be a good idea to give Mike a call at 519-504-4596. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Bridge. So you're right, Deputy Mayor Faulkner. My wife and I are celebrating our 40th anniversary, and so we're taking our family to Mexico next meeting. And I apologize for not being here, but I would like to publicly thank Mary Lou and Ron for serving over the last 8 years. It's been a pleasure sitting here.
In the middle.
Yep.
In the middle. We're always between 2 things.
So thank you guys for your service, and I look forward to the next 4 years. It's going to be very exciting. And, congratulations. Good luck. And,
I just have one item, and it was just that we had a little bit of a road trip last week, and we went down to the architectural heritage. And for our park and for the museum in Palmerston, we're up against all the Toronto and Hamilton and whatnot. And it was really interesting. You go down to they had the thing in a brewery. It used to be a waste management. What do you call it?
Recycling.
When you burn stuff. What's it one time?
Incineration.
Incinerator, built in the 30s. It was quite a unique building, and they've made it into this brewery now and a bunch of other things, and it's quite the spot. So we had our reception in there, and it was great to talk to a bunch of the people from Toronto that really don't know anything. It's just outside of Toronto. It's kind of interesting, but we certainly know that we exist outside of Toronto now, and although we didn't win, we lost the Lee side, and I wonder where the judges were, but Russia. But anyways, the fix was in maybe. But no, we enjoyed being down there, and it certainly was nice that a person from Guelph actually nominated us, and so that was quite nice.
That was the Lions Club, by the way, and
Yeah.
the park. I don't think.
Yeah,
Did you
the
say
park
that?
and the museum and the Lions Club, and for all the work that they've done. So, and you know, when you talk to people down there, and they're totally amazed that we get these things done with volunteers, because they don't have that there. And you can really tell, like, all the stuff they do. They have some volunteers, but any work like we do with the parks, the Lions do, and the Rotary Club does, the Kinsmen do, they don't understand that concept in the city. So we're so blessed to have that volunteer group with all our parks and dedication, and the fact that this council and previous councils had the foresight to give them a little seed money, and they make it go a long way. So on behalf of your council, it was great to be down there, and that was good. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, second by Councillor Anderson. The committee of the whole convenes the regular council meeting. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Elliott. The Council of Town of Minto ratifies motion made in the committee of the whole. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Turton, second by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, that the bylaw number 2018-81 for the purposes of amending Schedule D of the parking bylaw 5005 be introduced, read first, second, and third time, and passed on open council and seal the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Anderson, second by Councillor Caldwell, the bylaw number 2018-80 to confirm the actions of the Council of the Corporation of Town of Minto respecting a meeting held October 16th, 2018 be introduced, read first, second, and third time, and passed on open council and seal the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Anderson, the Council of the Town of Minto adjourned again to meet at the call of the mayor. Thank you. I was waiting for something to go wrong.
What if we said no?
Thank you very much.